Welcome back to Listen In. This is Angela Miner and David Davis. For the second part of our show today, we are honored to have with us Ms. Reba Terry. She's the Executive Director of The Caring Place. And Ms. Toni Miles. She is the Director of Organization Advancement. Welcome, ladies.
Oh,
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes.
We are very excited today to hear about the both of you and to hear about The Caring Place and your programs and your challenges and how we can help you as a community. Reba, if you'll start and just tell us a little about yourself maybe and how you got involved with The Caring Place.
Okay. Thank you so much for.
Go ahead.
Okay. Thank you so much for letting us be here this morning. I always enjoy and appreciate the opportunity to share about The Caring Place and the work that God has allowed us to be involved in. In 2000, 4 larger churches in Cleveland had their own benevolent center where they distributed food and clothing, and they decided to form one entity, and that became Lifton Redemption Ministries. In 2005, I was hired as the director, and most of what I know about the organization is from that point forward. We were serving, and we're located, by the way, at 130 Wildwood Avenue, right across from CarSmart. If I'm sure your listening audience is familiar enough with this part of town.
Yes.
At that point in time, we were distributing, I would say between 400 and 500 bags of food a month. The frequency that folks can come depends on their household size. A single person can come once a month, and families can come twice a month. So we were seeing 500, between 400 and 500 families a month in 2005. And we now see we're now distributing over 1,500 bags every month.
Wow.
So tripling the number of folks that we're seeing. We did, of course, see a rise during those years of recession. I don't see the numbers decreasing, but it's hard to determine really the reason for that. I think it's possibly that more folks know about us, and not necessarily that the need is decreased.
So what are some of the programs that you offer, Reba?
When I began in 2005, we were distributing food and clothing, and in 2011 we added our Diaper Love program, and that is a program that's supported by Brenda Lawson and her board of directors. They have their own 501c3 of Diaper Love of Bradley County. They're wonderful. They purchase and deliver the diapers to us, and we're responsible for assessing the need and tracking the usage. Children who are eligible, or whose families are eligible, can get 90 diapers a month for 12 months for 2 children. So that program began in 2011. In 2012, we added our Sack Pack program and also our Neighbors in Need program. And then in March of 2013, we added our dental clinic, Caris, that's K-A-R-I-S, Caris Dental Clinic. And we also have a social worker on staff. So I'd be glad to go into more detail about those when you want, but those are the programs that we are offering right now.
Okay. And Toni,
Yes,
when did you come aboard?
I joined the organization in June of 2013. I moved here from Cincinnati, Ohio in April of 2013, and met this awesome woman Reba Terry. They had a position open for a volunteer manager, and I went in and interviewed with her. So my first position with the Caring Place was actually recruiting our wonderful volunteers, because it takes over 160 volunteers, I think, that's active on our list right now, for us to execute the days that we're open, which are Tuesday through Friday, from 9 a.m. to 12 noon, and Tuesday evenings from 6 to 8. So it takes an average of 25 to 30 people every time we're open for us to execute service to our guests, our clients that come those times that we're open.
Do you have any volunteers who come there every day, or?
The days that we're open, most of them have their scheduled days. There are some that comes maybe more than one time a week. Yes, that way. But I don't think we have anyone that comes every day that we're open.
So you talk about your clients. How many clients do you have?
Well, that number varies. As Reba spoke just a few minutes ago, in 2013, on the monthly, an average of 1,500 households walk through our doors on a monthly basis.
Oh, wow.
So, and when we say households, that's not just one person. That could be a family of 6, 8, 9, 10.
Do you know how many children are affected?
Actually, I do have
Yes.
that. Yeah, I said I did. Well, come back to me on that, I guess. I have it right here. In 2013, we saw we assisted in these households 3,638 different children. These are unduplicated numbers. 412 seniors, and that's age 62 and above. 5,237 different adults. Okay.
That's amazing to think that there would be that many people in Bradley County that need assistance like that.
It is amazing. Angela asked about the SACPAC program. Statistics from 2012, the American Community Survey that was done, states that there are 23.1% of our children in Bradley County who are at risk of hunger, who live in households that are at or below poverty. So for, you guys correct me, but the last I heard, we have around 100,000 population countywide.
Yeah, I think that's correct.
So, I mean, I'm not a mathematician, but that's at least 23,000 children that may or may not know where their meal's coming from next. So that's where SACPAC comes in, and is very important.
One of you, tell us what it is in case our listeners don't know. This is a fabulous program, close to my heart.
SACPAC, we are providing, it's this pack made of 6 mini meals that are provided to elementary school children and now middle school in all of the 11 Bradley County. Yes. So over, I think last week it was 575 bags of sack packs that went out. And these are for children who have been identified that they experience food insecurity over the weekend, which that means that they may or may not eat once they leave school on Saturday and Sunday. So these mini meals are to help them to get through the weekend and are able to come back, till they can get back to school on Monday and be able to get their free breakfast or free lunch.
Now, the logistics of that is astounding to me. So where are you packing? How are you where does the food come from? How do you distribute?
Okay. Actually, we outgrew our little space. We started out distributing 200 packs a week in 2012. And God has blessed us and enabled us to add to that. We started out with 3 county schools, and as Tony said, now in 11. We were blessed to be given space at Cleveland State for our Sack Pack program.
Oh, wonderful.
So that began in October of 2013. We actually they've designed a service learning lab out of our Sack Pack location. Students at Cleveland State have to complete X number of service learning hours, and so we have a mixture of volunteers from the community as well as students of Cleveland State that come in every week to pack the bags, and then we have a volunteer who helps our driver to deliver them on Thursdays to the schools, and then the teachers and counselors distribute them on Fridays.
Well, how is this funded? Do you work with the Chattanooga Food Bank, or where did?
Well, we do. We purchase the food from the food bank in Chattanooga. It's 19 cents a pound for the most part, so it's not free, but it is a better rate than we could purchase it at the store. It began with a grant from the Bradley Memorial Health Endowment Fund. And we, at this point, have applied for funding for 2015 for about a fourth of our budget from the United Way, the campaign funds. We don't know yet whether or not that's going to be funded. But the majority, so 3/4 of that, comes from your listeners and folks
Yes.
like me and you who contribute. We are able to do this at this point for $240 a year per child.
I'm sorry, say that again.
$240 a year per
That's
child.
Amazing, isn't it?
It is.
That's wonderful.
And so for $20 a month, your listeners or you can support and sponsor a child to make sure that they have something to eat over the weekends.
For an entire year.
Yes.
Oh, and another place where you get your funds will be an event you're having in the morning.
Tuesday morning. September 23rd, yes. We are looking for dollars that would allow us to complete our operations for this year. Sack Pack and Neighbors in Need and Caris are fairly stable and are supported through the grant programs. We're looking on Tuesday to raise money for the Caring Place proper, so to speak, to underwrite the expenses of just the everyday running of the operation.
And Tony, would you tell us where that is and who's invited and
How we can help.
Yeah.
It's going, we actually are having it. Dwelling Place Church International has donated their facilities and actually the cost of the breakfast so that we didn't have to be out of pocket of that. That's 523 Irvine Road here in Cleveland. It will be 8 a.m. It will be for 1 hour. It's a 1 hour presentation of our impact here in this community, and then at that point we will be asking people to help us by pledging a donation to the Caring Place. And this is going to be very significant. We have utility bills that have to be paid on average. I think I was looking at that average anywhere from $700 to $900 a month. Because we're in a very, very old facility, and so the wear and tear when you have that many people coming through your doors in the winter and in the summer, your utilities go up. We have great people who work for us, and they're not there because of the pay. They're there because this is a calling and a mission. But in essence, when you think about what we do, the Caring Place, that umbrella, sometimes people forget about the need for those unrestricted dollars, those dollars that can, when a freezer goes out, that keeps food, and it's $3,000. people keep forgetting. So, we need that type of funding so that we are great stewards of the monies and proceeds that people give us. But we also need to be great stewards and be able to, if something is needed to be fixed, not have to worry about if somebody can donate that service or whatever. We have a strong faith in God, and so far today, everything has been covered and all that. But as we move forward to continue to provide, we are at capacity. We're at capacity with volunteers. We're at capacity in terms of the structure of our building to serve at the level that we're serving. And we are serving with excellence. We want to continue to do that because we are and we show we are the hands and feet of Jesus Christ, and we show the love of Jesus Christ. But you can't do that. People are sitting on top of each other,
Right.
being uncomfortable. It's supposed to be a place, a lot of I call them guests, but for those out there, our clients come and they say, this is the only church they know. Or this is a place when they need just a conversation. They don't need food or anything, but they need direction or need some advice. They come to the Caring Place. They ask for, is Miss Reba here? And so we want to make sure that we can continue to serve at that level. Also, we want to be in a place where we can continue to help people learn how to fish. Not just be the Band-Aid, but continue so we can create other programs that will help them to elevate themselves from their current position. So that's what I know I went off on a trail,
No,
but
that's terrific.
what it really is all about on Tuesday, September 23rd at 8 a.m. And if people would like to come and be a part of this, if they could call me today at the Caring Place at 472-4414, extension 3, and because we would like for them to reserve, and so that we know that they're coming, so we have a good count for Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
And it is free.
It is free. Yes.
There's free admission, but we are going to ask you for money.
I like that, Reba.
So you can get in cheap enough, but getting out's a different story.
Yes. And I can tell you will be inspired. We have Mayor Rowland is going to be our ask person. Kay Horner is going to present a wonderful illustration, and the Voices of Lee are going to open up our morning, make sure we're all wide awake so that we receive. And our special guests will be two of our clients that we serve who are so willing to share their story with the community.
And can you tell us their names or not?
We have a release, but I just rather you.
Or maybe a little bit about them.
Well, it's just two of our clients that came through the Caring Place when they needed help with their basic needs, and we were able to help them. One in particular. And that's probably really all I want to say about their position. I'd rather them tell their testimony than me.
So
but they have been helped, and they are, let me say this, they are no longer surviving, they are thriving.
Okay, so go to
Tuesday.
The Tuesday.
The 23rd.
The 23rd.
To meet them.
To meet them at 8 a.m.
And here
at Dwelling Place Church International, 523 Irvine Road. And
is that Judy Jacobs?
Yes,
church?
it is. That's Pastor Jamie and Judy Jacobs Tuttle's church.
Okay.
Yes.
So anyway, that sounds like something that anyone with a heart would want to do.
Amen.
Absolutely. On a personal note, Reba, what's the best part of your job?
I love doing the tours. Those of you who have been to the Caring Place know what I'm talking about. It's certainly not because we have an extravagant, elaborate place to show. It is an humble setting.
Is this the Hope Tour that you're speaking of?
It is.
Okay.
Tony typically leads those, but sometimes I get an opportunity between tours to someone, their schedule doesn't collaborate with hers, and I just love being able to share what God has done over the years. And when we're actually on the facility, I can say this was 9 years ago. This is where we are now. In fact, David, it's probably time for you to come back for a tour, just to see, just the changes. And when, we thought 3 years ago that we were crowded, well, you should see us now. So we're just making use of every space, every inch of space that we have. But I love sharing about how God has met the need and how lives have been changed. And getting to share on the air is another way. I can't give you a virtual tour over the air, but I can invite you to come and visit us.
Well, and like you say, I've been there, and it's remarkable about how you've got it laid out, because you have a lot of people sitting on the porch waiting, but you have a lot of people going through, and they go through in a fluid motion. And
yes,
it's I think you started out just in one building, and now you're in both buildings, or?
Well, we actually had both. The food warehouse was built for our usage for the food, and but we only used part of the red brick building, which is probably what you're remembering. We only had access to part of it, which is where we had the clothing at that time.
Right.
So we have the full use of that building, and have made use of all of it. So we are asking God for a future home. Don't know where, when that might be, but we believe that God has a plan, and at the right time He will reveal that to us.
I know when I first started trying to interview you in the early 2000s, you weren't real sure you wanted me, you wanted it put out there, because you didn't know what you could do.
Exactly.
And
yes.
How many, you just didn't. There was just so many unknowns about the operation.
This is true, and what I think that you're referring to, and correct me if I'm wrong, but we were very careful about advertising our services because we didn't have very much food to distribute, and we didn't want to get an influx of folks and have to turn them away.
Right.
So we wanted to get the word out that we needed volunteers and financial assistance without advertising in a global fashion like the radio to everyone, because we were a little cautious about that. But I'm feeling more secure about that. God has helped us, and we have food. So.
Well, you have no choice now. You either feel secure about it, or because it's there.
It's kind of taken on a life of its own.
I would like Tony to have the opportunity to tell me her favorite, best part of the job.
My favorite part is one. I don't know if there's one.
You don't have to choose one.
Okay. I really love being there. I shared this story with someone when I first got here. I always share this story to Cleveland. One of the things prior to coming here, God had me for a year praying for love and compassion, that my heart would be full of His love and compassion. And I didn't quite understand that until I got to the caring place.
How did you get there?
I guess I'm on here telling the truth. I'll just be totally transparent. I had seen the job opening because I was looking for a job, and I looked at it, and knowing what I know been in the nonprofit world for the last 10 years.
In Cincinnati?
In Cincinnati, yeah. I said, not sure that pays what I need for it to pay. And then I was talking with Brenda Lawson, and she told me about this and told me about Reba. And so it came up again, and I just heard God say, go. And I can tell you, when I pulled up on the grounds, I shared this with Reba, I knew. I really did. I got inside and she walked out, and I knew as soon as our eyes locked, this was where I was supposed to be. And it had nothing to do with money. It has to do with the call on my life and ministry. And so for me, I love when I get the opportunity to pray with people, to just love on them no matter what, to spread when they walk in, to let them know that they matter, regardless, because when they come, they are in a desperate situation. When you come to the Caring Place, you are desperate, and they need hope. And that's why we call it the Hope Tour. Everything we do is about hope. Reba and I love this quote. It is from, the name is, I think it's Russian, and I never can remember it, but it says, bread for me is natural,
Material.
but
It's material.
is material, but bread for my brother is a spiritual matter. So everything we do at the Caring Place is a spiritual matter. Clothing may be what got them in the door, and it may be their spiritual matter. The food, all of that. And so, but everything else that we do is we pray with them, we give them scriptures, we give them the word. And our whole goal is when people leave there is that they have hope. Hope to continue, hope to press forward. And we all know by the scriptures, now faith is the substance of things hoped for. And so that's my best part, is when I'm able to do that. But the other part is I love going out telling people about the signs, wonders, and miracles that are happening at the Caring Place, and really trying to share with them and connect with them in such a way that they understand that what we do is what God has called us all to do. And we are to be there for the least of these. And so those are two. One, that I can pour out while I'm inside of the Caring Place, and two, that I can get out in the community and pour out and draw men near that will give of their time, talent, and treasure to the Caring Place.
So, how do you give hope to a hopeless person? I mean, I know that you said that you pray with them and give them scriptures and all of that, but for somebody who's just hopeless, it doesn't just come immediately, does it?
I think with most things, it is a process. Even all of our walks are a process. But the fact that you can connect with an organization or a place that makes you feel like you are somebody, and a place that you feel safe, you keep coming back there. And so it is a process. And so as long as we are there and we're able to pour into them and show the love and give them the word of God, something connects. The word of God is powerful. Mm-hmm. It can be instant. Mm-hmm. Matter of fact, I've seen it be instant there. But if someone's way down, that's discipleship. And that's what we do at the Caring Place. We are disciples, and we do discipleship because every time they walk in that door, we are consistently doing that. Mm-hmm. And so that's how, to me, that's how we give hope. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Are there?
Sure. Hang on just a second.
Hang on, I think we may have.
If I cut you off, call me back because I'm still trying to figure out.
I think we have a caller. David's working those buttons.
Okay, are you still there, caller?
Oops, I'm sorry.
Caller, are you there?
Call us back. David's hung up on you.
I got to figure out how to work the telephone.
Just don't pick it up.
Yeah, don't pick it up. I told him, though, that if I cut him off to call me back, so maybe he will. But anyway, I know that my own walk in faith has not been instantaneous. It's been
It's a process.
God has had to beat me over the head, and, you know. So I've been kicking and screaming all the way, but I think I'm getting there. I hope so. But
But you know, sometimes when you're in a place, and some of the places that our guests have been, and I know I've been there a time or two in my life where no one else could help me. My family couldn't, friends couldn't. It was only truly God that could pull me out of my pit. And so we have to remember that. And that's not to say that we're perfect in all areas. That is to say, at that particular time, we're all a work in progress. And I'm still a work in progress. So I'm just blessed at this point that the simple things, the basic things in life that are necessary, I'm able to afford. Not everyone can say that.
Right. Well, speaking of that, I meant to ask earlier, are there qualifications for receiving assistance at the Caring Place?
There is. We ask that folks bring us proof of their income. We service folks who are at or below poverty, according to the federal poverty guidelines.
what is the poverty line?
I was afraid you were going to ask me that. For one person is $974 a month, and it's about, I think it's like $3,000 more for each person, kind of thing. So depending on the household size. We also ask for proof of address. We service folks in Bradley County.
Yes.
A picture ID of the person who is applying, and Social Security cards for anyone who resides in their household. And then once approved, then they can be served twice a month. Families can, and singles once a month.
That's a lot of personal information they have to provide.
It is. And that is on purpose, because we do want to be able to demonstrate accountability when we, express to folks on Tuesday morning, the 23rd, that we need financial assistance to
Amen.
finish this year out strong. We feel, that we are accountable to them, that we are careful, that we see the folks that will demonstrate need. There are other organizations in the community that distribute food, and they have other criteria, and that's fine. I'm not saying everybody has to do it the way that we do it, but that's what we have asked for. We don't make copies of anything. We just want to see it. And
that's kind of why that's kind of why I asked if there was a name of the people who were speaking on Tuesday at Urbane Road at the breakfast.
You got
Very
it.
good, David.
You got it.
Yeah.
Because all of that is confidential.
Yeah, it is.
Yes.
And they are willing, though. They are willing
Sure.
to come and share. So that's okay if they're willing to come and share. But I just want to tag on to what Reba said. But if everyone doesn't have all of that information on the day that they come, and that's another reason I love the Caring Place, we will serve them for that day. And make sure they understand we're serving them for that day, because we don't want anyone to go hungry. But they have to continue the service. All that information has to be brought to at the next time that they come. In addition, our social worker who's there as well, a lot of times families, if we cannot help you, will be referred to the social worker who has, to me, knowledge is everything, who has information not only of Bradley County, but several surrounding counties, all the different resources that are available that may help them. So we are also a place where people can come and get information as well.
And Is the cost of food going up? I know a church that I work with, they buy food out of the food bank. It's already boxed and everything, but it's going up from I think $6 a box to $9 a box or something like that, because they're trying to change the nutrition value of the boxes. They're trying to have healthier boxes. So is the cost of food from the food banks going up in
It
general?
has increased, David, only once, though, in 9 years. That's pretty significant. We buy by the pound as opposed to by the box, because we do our own sorting and packing and stuff in the warehouse. Let me tell you this. We distributed in 2013 179 tons of food out of our little warehouse.
My goodness.
And we
That's too
have
many zeros. I can't do the actual pounds. So 2,000 pounds times how many tons?
it's actually 358,760 pounds.
There it is.
That we distributed in 2013, and we have a budget of $70,000. So we do obviously accept donations, but we also, when I said donations, I was thinking of monetary donations, but we also accept food as a donation. We have about 40 barrels, collection barrels that are in various schools and churches, businesses, where it could be a collection site. That's just so valuable to us, because there's a lot of foods that we would like to distribute that aren't available at the food bank. And so it gives us more variety. It gives us variety in sizes, and it's just a wonderful gift when we get food donated to us.
Okay, we're going to take just a little bit of a break, and if I can push the right buttons, one of these days I'm going to successfully answer a phone call.
Oh, you're doing great.
That's my
You're doing great.
That's my next goal, is to answer a phone call. Anyway, this is Listen In on Whoop FM 99.9, and we'll be back in just a minute.
somehow. Oh, they tell me now that you have found another. Darling, please don't say it's too late now. Heart of mine could never stand it if I should have to give you up somehow. Oh, won't you say you'll give me one more chance, dear? Darling, please don't say it's too late now. Is it too late now to tell you that I love you? Or is there still a chance for me somehow? Oh, they tell me now that you have found another. Darling, please don't say it's too late now. I know I've done you wrong, dear. Oh, can't you see my side of it somehow? All I ask of you is one more chance, dear. Darling, please don't say it's too late now. Is it too late now to tell you that I love you? Or is there still a chance for me somehow? Oh, they tell me now that you have found another. Darling, please don't say it's too late.
Okay, we're back. We're going to wrap this up with our last session, but we're talking to Reba Terry and Tony Miles from the Caring Place. Reba is the executive director, and Tony has a title that I can't remember, but it's she's the director of
Organization Advancement.
Yeah, she's.
I was listening, Dave.
She's the marketing director. But anyway, we haven't talked about the demographics of who you have, or who your guests are, your clients, and I think we need to get a little bit into the demographics.
Okay, well, I'd be glad to do that. These are numbers from 2013, our most recent statistics. 74% of the people that we serve, or the head of, or the households that we serve, are female. 26% male. 35% are single. 24% are married. We have 46% unemployed, 27% disabled, 16% though are employed, just not able to make ends meet.
They would be in the category that's commonly referred to now as underemployed,
perhaps, or the working poor.
The working poor.
Mm-hmm.
Or then, whenever you talk, I'm interrupting you, I know, but when you talk about the working poor, or you're not just talking fast food restaurants,
No,
are you?
no. We're talking folks whose hours have been cut. We've seen a lot of that, because then that means that their employer doesn't have to pay benefits. Mm-hmm. So with and we won't get started on all that about the health care.
Yes.
How that's impacted our folks. But when they lose, if you're already living close to the edge and you lose 10 hours a week, that's a significant reduction. Mm-hmm. And you're still employed and you still do what you're supposed to do every day, but you're not able to make it. A living wage now is over $11 an hour, and that's for one person working. So if you have a family, you can't exist on $11 an hour unless there's a second or third adult working in your household. So if you've got someone who's working full time at minimum wage, they're they qualify for our services. So that's how that can happen.
And so what we find is a lot of our clients that we serve are making decisions every day between eating, healthcare.
Yep.
Eating, healthcare.
Mm-hmm.
And it's unfortunate in this country today, in such a rich country, that people are having to make those type of decisions.
Absolutely. We have, we were talking a little bit on the break about these demographics, and quickly wanted to cover the largest category, age category, that's represented here is 24%, and that includes folks who are between 21 and 30. The next next largest is 23%, is 31 to 40. So you've got 47% of the folks we serve are between 21 and 40.
That to me,
That's astounding
yes,
to me.
that's a staggering. I thought it would be older people, you know.
Actually, the define older, so I'll know where to go here.
Well, I was thinking.
Everything.
65 and up.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was
Retirement
thinking-
age.
Okay.
folks.
61 to 70 is 7%. 71 to 80 is 2%. And 81 to 92 is 1%. So you've got 7, 9, 10% of the folks that we serve are 61 or over. So it's not, you know, it's those who are of working age that are either unemployed or underemployed or, you know, the working poor. And we have 83% of our clientele are Caucasian, 7.6% are Black or African American, and 6.4% are Hispanic origin. And then there are little sprinklings of other. Okay, so that pretty much matches, I think, our demographics as a community.
Do you have it broken down by zip code or anything?
I do.
Oh, you do.
Yes, the largest percent is in 37311. That's 55.7%. Our 37311, but we and 20%, almost 21%, are 37323.
I was going to guess 37323, but some of those numbers are just astounding. It never occurred to me that the majority of the people would be working age people.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's just,
So that 37311 and 23 combined is 75%, actually 76% of the folks that we serve. But we have 15% from 37312. So, yeah, it is very interesting. I'm happy to share it anytime. We spoke briefly, or maybe it was on the break, about our homeless population.
Yes.
We serve 237 different households who listed that they had no place to live. This could have been with children. It could have been a single, but 237 households.
do you have any school-age children who are homeless?
Yes, we
Yes.
do. We do, and sometimes those are reported to us for assistance through one of the school counselors that will contact our social worker for assistance for those families. It's incredibly sad.
Yeah.
People living in their cars.
Absolutely. I was just getting ready to tap in. We're beginning to see a little bit more of that. Mothers stopping by, and literally they're living in their cars.
And we only have, and I don't mean this to be critical, we do the best we can in our community, but the emergency shelter only has 2 or 3 family rooms.
Right.
So that they fill up quickly.
And they can only stay there overnight. They can't be there during the day.
That's correct.
That's
they open
correct.
at 4 and they close at 8 in the morning.
So, I knew some of this, from working with you before, Reba, when I was with the Banner, but some of this is, I just can't get over the underemployed, the age group.
Yes.
It just, because that should be the time when you're out,
Yep.
going on vacations and taking your kids
Right.
hiking.
Young
and-
families.
Sure, yeah,
Yes.
and we're growing a generation, or we're growing some people who don't know what it's like to live a good life.
That's
you know,
right.
To be part of that American dream.
Well, my mom was also a teacher, and she has texted me. She has a question for you, ladies. Do you keep up with demographics about like levels of education?
We do.
for
We
folks?
do.
Oh, let's share that. Mom wants to hear
Okay,
that.
we have 35%, and that's the largest category. 35% have a high school education. The next largest percent is 13%, and they have over. It's post-secondary, so that doesn't necessarily mean that they've completed college, but they have some college. So 36%, 35%, I'm trying to do this in my head. I'm not a mathematician. But 35 or 36% of our clients have a high school education. The next is 13% that have a post-secondary education. And then somebody help me if that's about half.
It's
yeah.
almost half.
And so then the remaining half have 11th, 10th. We have 9% who have 9% who have a GED. So we should add that with the high school. 35. So 45% with a high school education. That brings it up a little more. And 13% with post-secondary.
It's about
then-
58%.
Yeah,
So 42% of the folks did not graduate
Did
high
not,
school is what
yes.
I
Right.
heard you
that's
just say.
right.
Well, I would believe that, but you would think that a high school education is what's required. I mean, that's the minimum required.
Right.
So you would think that if you graduate from high school, that you could get a job, and
So what's even greater if you go on and do post-secondary, you
Yeah.
would, and we're seeing here when you put both of those together, 58% are educated
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
and they're still struggling.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the world we're living in today.
Can we visit just a moment the frequency that folks come to see you? I mean, there may be, I'm guessing here, there may be a perception that once they get signed up with you guys and they're like there from now till ever.
Right. What we have discovered over the last 3 years that we have been tracking this is that even though, as I've said earlier, that families can come twice a month and singles once a month, then that means families could come 24 times a year, singles could come 12 times a year. But if you just do the basic math of the number of bags that we distribute every year and divide it by the number of households that we see, that equals 5. So 5 is the average number of visits per year. And that's been consistent over the last 3 years.
And Tony, you were saying a while ago that that you can look and that people don't come.
When we talk with them and they've been gone a while, and we ask them where they've been, they'll tell you, we only come when we really need to come. And I know there's myths out there. People think that people are always trying to get over, especially when it's adults. And I'm just here to say that's not true. Yeah. They come when they need it. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, if everything is going well and they can provide for themselves, they don't come because they want us to help somebody else. That's what they say.
They often say, I know there's people worse off than me.
Yes. And and I love, we were talking and I said I love to dispel myths. And one other myths, because we get it a lot. Well, what about food stamps? And, well, let me just share this stat. The average food stamp gift in Tennessee is $132 per month. And I just want most people to think about that. If you could live and go and eat on food, shop on $132 per month.
Oh, I spend $132 on junk.
That's, I rest my case.
I do.
So we love sharing this information because, I hear it. I've heard it from even people I know, and all of that. And my pet peeve is too, I know people love children and the helping of children, but if we don't help mommy and daddy, we don't break the curse or the cycle of poverty. So we've got to treat this holistically, and we have to treat the whole family, not just children, if we want to break the cycle.
Yeah, and it's not just a hunger cycle. It's
No, it's a system.
When you're hungry, or when you don't have any money,
Right.
that's the number one reason
That's
I think
right.
for domestic violence.
It is.
and-
All
yes.
kinds of ails.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so it's not just a hunger problem.
No.
It just goes across the board. Hunger is just a pebble in the pond.
Yes.
It's a symptom of a much larger
problem.
problem.
So, is there anything that you want to add before we wrap up? I mean, or you want to rehash like Tuesday, August?
September 23rd, 8
August is
a.m., Dwelling Place Church International. We will be having our Behind the Hope Door free fundraising breakfast. And if you'd like to attend, please call Tony Miles today at 472-4414, extension 3.
See, I'm already looking forward to 2015. So.
Tell us the hours and location one more time for the Caring Place.
We are open Tuesday through Friday from 9 until 12 and Tuesday nights from 6 until 8. But our volunteers work hours outside of that. We need afternoon helpers to help us recover from the morning, get ready for the next day. And there's always ways that folks can help. So if you are interested at all, give us a call and we will let you help us.
So if you had your dream home, how many square feet would it be?
We're looking at least 20 to 25,000 square feet.
Yes.
Okay. So if there's anybody out there with a building
Absolutely.
Yes.
with
And
25,000 square feet, give them a call.
We need to stay in the neighborhood.
Yes.
We need to be able for our folks to get to us. It's important because many of them walk or have just a little bit of gas, so they need to
an
be
old
close.
grocery store or anything like that would be wonderful, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yes, it would.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, ladies, we appreciate you coming. I saw
Thank
something.
you.
I want to say one more thing, Dave, before you turn my microphone on.
Okay.
Don't touch that button. I saw this on your website, and this is this is my perception, and it is the reality for everybody listening out here. This is what the Caring Place does. It's a St. Augustine quote. It says, "What does love look like? It has the hands to help others. It has the feet to hasten to the poor and needy. It has eyes to see misery and want. It has the ears to hear the sighs and sorrows of men. That is what love looks like." That's a beautiful sentiment. Tell what's your website? People can go see that and see your
It's
program.
www.thecaringplaceonline.org.
Thank you, ladies, so much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
So what do we have next week? Do you know?
We do. We have folks from the museum coming to visit with us, and I believe you have somebody after that, Mr. Green.
Oh, Robert Green,
Yes.
Fellowship of Christian Athletes.
Yes, that's who will.
Is going to be talking about the Fields of Faith coming up on October 1st. So I'm looking forward to next week.
Terrific.
Okay.
Listen in with David Davis and Angela Miner every Thursday morning. Thank you again, ladies.
At 8:30 and to 10:30 or 11 or maybe 10:51. Okay. See you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Tired of carrying around cash in your pocket and tired of banks? Visit usmoneycard.com and get your prepaid debit card to use wherever MasterCard is